Here's your host for tonight's Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Phoenix Award ceremony, Academy Award nominee, Golden Globe winner, and 9-time NAACP Image Award honoree, Miss Angela Bassett.
Free your mind, and the rest will follow. That classic line from In Vogue reminds us of the truth. It's in our own minds that we set the course toward our freedom. Good evening. It's such a pleasure to be with you because these Phoenix Awards are always a time, our time, of exaltation as we pay tribute to the leaders among us who are carrying the fight forward, the fight to freedom for all. But this year, the Phoenix Awards are a special celebration, and it's a special honor to me to serve as your host. We're not only celebrating 5 extraordinary brothers and sisters who are giving their all to advance the global Black community. This year, we're celebrating 50 years of the Congressional Black Caucus, and our 50th annual legislative conference just concluded. 50 years of achievement, of bold and courageous service as the conscience of the Congress. But even more, right now in 2021, we're celebrating a moment, our moment. It's a time like no other in our history and in the history of this nation. We have an opportunity and we're seizing it. Just as the theme of this year's conference says, we are Black excellence unparalleled, and we're pressing onward in power. So we're here tonight to exalt, and to extend our reach into the future. We've got some of our finest artists and strongest leaders to help us do just that. And we're going to begin with one of the very strongest. To present our first Phoenix Award here, speaking from Washington, D.C., is the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, the United States Representative from Columbus, Ohio, Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. Congratulations, Madam Secretary, and thank you for everything you continue to do. These Phoenix Awards remind us of the past 50 years of Congressional Black Caucus achievements. They celebrate the vital work the CBCF is doing in the present, and they inspire us with the faith to accomplish all that we need to do in the future. We have some spectacular performances for you this evening. From all across the country, you'll see artists and speakers from our stages in DC, LA, and right here in Atlanta. We're pleased to have with us tonight an artist whose music manages to combine the past, the present, and the future. Please welcome from right here on our Phoenix Awards Atlanta stage, Leela James. For 50 years, the Congressional Black Caucus has been fighting for us. Along the way, there have been wins and losses, but through it all, the CBC has persevered. And for most of that time, the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation has been supporting our representatives in Congress with the policy and educational resources that they need to carry on the fight. Our annual legislative conference, which just concluded, is crucial to that support. To tell us more, here's the President and CEO of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, Mrs. Tanya Vesey. I mentioned earlier that the CBCF's annual legislative conference is of crucial importance. Just how important? Well, here's an indication. It is a great honor to introduce the President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden. Supporting the work of the Congressional Black Caucus is the work of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, and supporting the CBCF are the contributions of numerous dedicated individuals and corporations. Here now, from our stage in Washington, D.C., is the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, Ms. Lori George Billingsley. When we talk about what a critical time this is, it's not enough for us to say, we're on the brink of great things. We have to make sure that we're ready to seize this moment. And the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation is doing just that. With its Leadership Institute, the CBCF is actively preparing young Black leaders to fill the community, business, and public policy positions that we'll need to continue progress for generations to come. It's an amazing program that has already achieved practical results. identifying, recruiting, and preparing the next generation of trailblazers. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear from some of the extraordinary individuals who have made the Leadership Institute an enormous success. It's so uplifting to see what's being done for our promising young leaders, and we're so grateful to be able to share it with you. We're able to do it thanks to the signature sponsor of this year's Phoenix Awards, Amazon, and we're pleased to hear from them right now. Thank you so much, Lettucey. As we move through these Phoenix Awards tonight, it's important to remember that we're not only celebrating the awardees, we're also celebrating the Congressional Black Caucus itself. This is the most numerous CBC ever, the largest contingent of African Americans in Congress in history. That gives extra weight to this year's 50th Annual Legislative Conference. An honorary co-chair of the conference and the presenter of one of our ALC co-chair awards in Washington, D.C., is the U.S. representative from Maryland's 4th Congressional District, Congressman Anthony Brown. I'd like you to meet the other honorary co-chair of this year's CBC Annual Legislative Conference. She represents the oldest congressional district in the nation, and she's here to present the second of our 2 ALC co-chair awards. From the great state of Delaware and speaking from Washington, D.C., Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester. What an inspiration. In every field, medicine and science, business, government, the arts, academia, religion, you name it, we are Black excellence unparalleled, pressing onward in power. And to press onward, we have to be firmly anchored in our deep traditions, including our faith traditions. We've been sustained and strengthened by our faith and inspired by our artists. That tradition continues. Here from Nashville, Tennessee are Molly Music and Jonathan McReynolds. As we mark the end of the 50th Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Annual Legislative Conference, there's a prevailing sense, as you've heard tonight, that we're at a special moment in our history. The fight for justice is front and center once again, and it's getting more attention now than at any other time in the 50 years since 13 members of Congress created the Congressional Black Caucus. Today, there are more than 4 times that number. These proud senators and representatives constitute one of the most powerful groups in Congress. And here again is their leader, the chair of the CBC, Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. Our next musical guest is an important part of our tradition of Black excellence in music. From our LA stage, with a song from his brand new release, please welcome Stokely. We're surrounded by greatness tonight, and not only the greatness of those with us, but also the brilliant achievements of those no longer with us. Those achievements live on. They are the soil that keeps giving birth to new leaders, new ideas, and new accomplishments. We celebrate those lives even as we express our sadness at their loss. We are a people who live in faith, who constantly look forward with hope and confidence to the future. Those who have left us give us strength in that outlook and strength to continue their fight. We carry our ancestors with us, and we will never forget them. The Congressional Black Caucus Foundation represents Black America in all its grand diversity. And we're about to hear from an artist who celebrates that diversity and our heritage in her music. Here is the always compelling Rhapsody. There's one more Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Phoenix Award, and it's one that's presented on behalf of the entire body of 57 Black senators and representatives. Here is our final award presentation tonight, the 2021 Body Award. It's been such an honor and a pleasure to be your host this evening. I want to thank you once again on behalf of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation for being with us on this glorious night. And it is truly glorious. There has been glory in the history and significance of the Phoenix Awards, glory in our celebration of the honorees, glory in the music and words we've heard, and still more glory in where we're headed and in the achievements that will take us there. We're going to close with an absolutely glorious artist, a prolific songwriter and entertainer, as well as a philanthropist, entrepreneur, actor, and activist. The embodiment of Black excellence unparalleled. She is a 10-time Grammy Award winner and has blazed the trail and influenced generations of recording artists. Before she sings, let me say thank you again. God bless you. Please stay involved with the work of the CBCF and do join us here again next year. And now, here's the legendary, the incomparable, as Whitney Houston said, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan.